myself Vaibhav. In today's session, we are seeing some buying momentum in the EURUSD, and it has retraced from the lower levels. Now it is inching back closer to 1.19, and I think moving forward also we are likely to see it consolidating while looking to form the base on the lower side closer to 1.185. And the major reason is, of course, that it has already seen significant decline after the last Wednesday's monetary policy announcement from the Fed. And after this decline of almost more than 250 pips, I think we are more likely to see the Euro USD consolidating in narrow range for this week rather than moving in one direction for a significant move. So we will be looking at the key levels which can help us in finding out the trades for in today's session as well as for rest of the week. If we consider the trading context for the day, in today's session there is not much of an data coming in. Earlier in the day we had some minor releases from Australia and China. Apart from that, the data docket is almost blank, not exactly blank but almost blank, as we don't really have any market moving release. If we consider the data which we got earlier in the day, the retail sales have registered slight increase in terms of month on month for Australia. So that's a positive development, and we are also seeing some buying from the lower side, though I don't really think that it is being driven by this retail sales increase for Australia. Moving to the China, we are seeing that the loan rate, both for 1 year as well as for 5 year terms, are not seeing any change, and the 1 year loan prime rate stands at the same level of 3.85%, and a similar thing is also being observed for 5 year, 10 year, where the rate is at 4.65%. So there is no change there. And apart from that, if we consider the market sentiments prevalent in the day, I think we are more likely to see some retracement in most of the financial instruments after the sharp moves which we have observed till Friday. In today's session, we are seeing some buying in the equity side also, and as I said, similar kind of trajectory is also being observed in the euro. So we will be looking at these moves and try to infer what are the probabilities moving forward. So let's start the day for the technical side, technical outlook. First, we will consider the Euro USD, and then on the commodity side, I think some advantage can be taken of the sideways momentum in light crude. So we will be looking at scalping opportunities for the light crude oil. Let's start with the currency first, and the instrument of choice is Euro USD. This is the daily time frame chart, and here, as you can observe, we have seen this decline. And if we count from the very top, it is almost a 400 pips decline, and even in immediate trajectory, it is almost closer to 300 pips. So after this move, I think it is not really surprising if we see Euro USD finding some buying on the lower side and retracing, and that's what we are observing. So I think moving forward, for most part of the week, we can expect the Euro USD to trade sideways, and we can take advantage of that if we can figure out what are the key levels which can help us in finding the optimum trade points, trade entry points. So mostly we will have to rely on the lower time frame chart, where you can observe that the sentiment still remains bearish, but we do have the support on the lower side. This second support of business pivot point series in play, and that's where we are seeing some consolidation for the Euro USD. And right now the Euro USD is trying to climb up above this second support of this must pivot point series, which is there around 1.188. And if we see Euro USD stabilizing closer to this level, I think in coming days we can even expect to try to climb towards 1.195 or even above that. But it's not a trend change, but rather it can be considered as a retracement move, and in either case we can profit if we are able to go for the optimum entry points, and for that mostly we will have to take the help of these lower time frame charting, where the 50 SMA can come handy while looking to trade these oversold scenario. So on the lower side, keep in mind that we have the bottom formation happening closer to 1.185. So that's the key level to watch out for. And unless and until we have any significant break below this level, we can continue to look for the buy trade anywhere closer to or above this level, not below this. And it is very important that we keep that in mind. So the price level above 1.185 is likely to be acting as a good entry point where we can utilize this price area, keep the stop loss little below the immediate swing low. I think the stop loss anywhere closer to 1.184 should be a good choice. And on the higher side, we can expect the climb towards these Friday's high, which is there around 1.192. So that is a price level which we can utilize as a target price on the higher side for entry anywhere above 1.185. And as I said, the stop loss is going to be fairly sharp. 1.184 should be good enough. And right now we have the price action closer to 1.19. So I think we will need to wait it out, allow some correction to take place from the current levels. And only after that we are likely to get the optimum entry, and it is very important to make sure that the risk reward ratio is favorable. Currently it's not that favorable, and that is the reason instead of going for the entry straight away we will have to wait some time. Now moving on to the light crude oil's technical outlook. This is the daily time frame chart, and as you can observe, the light crude oil has had a tremendous bull run, and now it has entered into a consolidation phase where it is consolidating on the higher side, closer to the levels of $72 per barrel. And moving forward, also for the most part of this week, I am expecting the light crude oil to spend the time in consolidation, and that naturally opens up the possibilities for scalping, and we will have to take advantage of that. So if we consider the price formation on the lower time frame charting, the underlying momentum still remains bullish, so that means we can continue to look for the buy trade anywhere above the price level of $70 per barrel. And on the higher side, it is important to short it closer to the swing high, the price level of around $73 per barrel. So these are the two price ranges which can provide us some trading opportunities, and we have to respect the price action and see where the light crude oil is finding the support or the resistance and trade accordingly. So if we consider the today's trading outlook, I think given the fact that light crude oil is closer to the buying price level, it will be better if we keep looking to buy while the light crude consolidates closer to these second resistance of this month's pivot point series, which is there around $71.25 per barrel. So this is the price area which I think is indeed going to offer us some trades in today's session. So any buy trade can be taken whenever we see some sort of reversal in the light crude oil after finding support closer to these 200 SMA in the early hours. We had these buying from the levels of around $71, and it had even pushed the light crude to close to $72. And now that light crude is again back to the $71.5, I think we can go for the buy trade, but the price move is likely to gain momentum only after the start of the US trading session. So for next couple of hours, the light crude might spend more time in a sideways range rather than moving on the higher side. And as and when US markets open, we have to pay attention to the fact that there should not be any significant break below the day's low. If that happens, I think it will be better to change our outlook And even if we don't really go for the short sell trade, it will be better to simply sit on the sidelines rather than looking to buy it if it breaks below the support area. So keep that in mind that we have to respect this immediate support closer to the 200 SMA range, and that is why it is important for the light route to not break below the 200 SMA. And if it does, then we will have to wait till it goes on to form a fresh swing high, the high above used under this 72 level, and only after we have the formation of a higher high in place, we can think about initiating the new buy trade. So that's the outlook for the light crude oil in today's session, where we can expect the light crude oil to continue to respect these support levels and try to rise back closer to these immediate swing highs. So if we go for the buy trade, we can expect the light crude oil to climb at least toward these prior swing high or closer to that. So here for a risk of around 50 cents, we can look to profit more than 1 USD per barrel, and that is going to get us the risk reward ratio of even better than 1 is to 2. Now, moving to the risk disclaimer, we have to keep in mind that trading in financial instrument is quite risky, and we have to take the information as is. So thank you all for joining in. Do subscribe to the Decoscopy webinar channel to stay updated on market developments. See you next time. Till then, goodbye.